Well, the Commodores let me down yesterday. Thanks a lot, Vandy.
Vanderbilt? How in the hell?
Big 12, Big 12, Big 12, Big 12. Yep, I spend all season talking about how great the SEC is. Vandy goes out and loses the SEC's first bowl game to a Big 12 team, Baylor. Team that won, what did they win, 1 or 2 games last year? A lot better this year, but still, it's Baylor. Actually a great game though, probably the best bowl game we've had so far, right? Did you guys watch it? Back and forth game. You got the feeling watching that game in the third quarter, well, whoever gets the ball last probably gonna win. And it ended up happening. Vandy had a chance to win at the end, couldn't cash in. But anyway, it was a good game. Hats off to Baylor for the win. What else? Duke and Temple yesterday. Yeah, Duke ran away with that one. Temple had a lead there for a little bit, but Duke ran away with it in the end. They have a great quarterback on that team, Duke. He'll be playing on Sundays here pretty soon. So yeah, Duke gets the W. And what was the other game yesterday? Oh yeah, Mart Rick versus Wisconsin. And Mart Rick is still the same old Mart Rick that we've come to know and love here on LouTube. Miami goes out, doesn't even show up, doesn't even get off the bus. Absolutely no offense at all. I talked about it yesterday, the offensive coordinator situation and the offensive situation in general at Miami being a mess and needing to get that straightened out. You guys got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. You looked really, really bad yesterday in that bowl game. A lot of Miami fans already done with Mart Rick at this point. Obviously, he's not going to get fired. He'll get another year. Next year, we'll see what he does. But man, things are not looking good in South Beach for the football Jesus. That's for sure. So what's the moral of the story? Don't listen to anything I say in today's video. I was 0 for 3 yesterday picking winners. I went with Temple. They lost to Duke. I went with Miami. They lost to Wisconsin. And I went with Vandy. They lost to Baylor. So don't listen to anything I say, but nevertheless, I'm still going to bore you for the next 7 or 8 minutes by talking about 3 of the bowl games that are coming up today. And we're going to do that right now. It's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, and I'm live for you on LouTube today. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it also. And 2, in addition to that as well, yeah, I do. Going to talk about 3 bowl games today. And we got some good ones, some ranked teams, some SEC teams, Power 5 versus Power 5. You got Auburn versus Purdue. You got Syracuse, West Virginia. You got some good games today, and we're going to talk about them. Iowa State, Washington State is the other one. So all Power 5 teams today. So we're starting to get into some of the better teams, right? Not great teams, not really, really good teams. But some of the better teams, right, start playing today, ranked teams. Should be worth watching. I'm going to do a preview and a prediction for all 3 of those games in this video today. As usual, this preview and prediction video is going to be sponsored by the good people over at betnow.eu. They've been good enough to sponsor my preview and prediction videos this season, and they're continuing on with the bowl season. There's a link in the description of this video. If you click that link, it'll take you over to Bet Now. They're going to set you up with all your betting needs, whether it be college football bowl season, NFL playoffs, March Madness coming up here in a couple months, whatever it is, they'll take care of you. There's a link in the description of this video. Click that link, it'll take you over there. Enter the promo code Uncle Lou when you sign up on the site. That's one word, Uncle Lou, all lowercase letters, and they're going to give you a bonus on whatever you deposit. Good luck. All right, up first today, Auburn versus Purdue. This game's interesting. Why? Well, a couple of reasons. Fun to laugh at Auburn. A disaster going on there with Gus Malzahn. They give this guy a huge raise. Now they want to fire him, but they can't afford it. Putting out rumors about Bob Stoops. Not true. Putting out rumors about lowering his buyout so they can afford to fire him next year. Not true, according to the Barners I've been hearing from lately. Anyway, Auburn just a disaster of a season per usual, 7-5. Listen, Auburn won 10 games last year. You knew they weren't winning 10 this year, right? They haven't won 10 games in back-to-back seasons since the 80s. You knew it wasn't going to happen this year, and it didn't. They finished 7-5, a disappointing year. They take on Purdue in the Music City Bowl. Purdue is 6-6. What was Purdue's best win this year?
Every single, Maryland scored!
Oh yeah, the Urban Meyer Retirement Bowl when Purdue hung 111 points on them there in that mollywhopping they gave them. Auburn's a 3.5-point favorite here. I'm an SEC homer. I want Auburn to win. I don't see it happening here. I'm not comfortable with what's going on in Auburn right now. A lot of smoke about Gus Malzahn. Half the fans want him gone. Half the boosters and administration, it seems like, want him gone too. But they're sort of bootstrapped to him, to Gus Malzahn, because of that huge contract they gave him after last season for absolutely no reason at all. Gus Malzahn goes out and gets humiliated in the SEC championship game against my Georgia Bulldogs. They immediately give this guy a raise, 7 years, $7 million a year for $49 million. And the buyout is half of the remaining balance of the contract. So they'd have fired him this year. They owed him approximately $25 million. Obviously, they're not doing that, and they didn't. Next year, he'll be owed $42 million. Half of that will be around $20 million. That's still too high. I don't think they'll fire him next year either. And next year not going to be good either, because every single time something goes wrong for Auburn, you're going to have people coming out of the woodwork with the fire Gus Malzahn. I don't think next year will be pretty for the barn either. But this game here at Music City Bowl, I do think this will be a close game. This is an interesting matchup to me. Auburn's defense versus Purdue's offense. Purdue likes to air it out. They got a pretty good quarterback who can sling it around. Auburn's got a good front four. Say what you want, laugh at Auburn. God knows I do. They've got a pretty good defense. If they can get the offense, I mean, they've had a month to work on the offense. We'll see. How much better is it going to be? I don't know. Like I said, there's been a lot of distractions around Auburn over the last 5 or 6 weeks with the coaching situation. We'll see how that affects the team today. Gus Malzahn does not have a good history in bowl games. What is he, 1-5 in bowl games or something like that? The only win Gus Malzahn has in a bowl game is 4 or 5 years ago in the Birmingham Bowl. This ain't the Birmingham Bowl. Gus Malzahn travels out of the state of Alabama. He has a hard time winning a game. This one's in Tennessee. Not that long of a trip, but the point is, it's not in Alabama. I'm going to go with Purdue here. Give me the 3.5, though. I think this could be a close game. Wouldn't surprise me if Auburn wins. And you know, SEC, blah, blah, blah. But give me the guys that are making boils and the 3.5 points. All right, Syracuse at West Virginia. Now, this would be a great game if Will Grier was playing, but unfortunately, he's a quitter like my boy DeAndre Baker over at UGA. He's a quitter, so he can't be bothered to show up for this game to support his team, his teammates, his school, or his fans. He's letting you guys down, so he's not playing. Syracuse, for that reason, I think, is a 3-point favorite in this game. Now, Syracuse is a good team, 9-3. To me, they didn't look as good as West Virginia during the season, but you take Will Grier away from West Virginia, they're just not the same team. West Virginia, of course, finished 8-3. Their best win probably Texas. They lost to Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, lost at Iowa State, but that's nothing to be ashamed of. At Iowa State's the hardest place to play in America. If you don't believe me, ask any Oklahoma fan. They'll be happy to tell you. You can't win at Iowa State. The 85 Chicago Bears couldn't win at Iowa State, so give them a pass on that one. Syracuse lost to Clemson, Pitt, and Notre Dame. Now, one of those teams stands out. Pitt. You say, Pitt? Really? Clemson and Notre Dame? Okay, that's understandable. Lost to Pitt. You look a little closer, though. Yes, they lost to Pitt. It was on the road, in overtime, 1 week after they lost a heartbreaking game on the road at Clemson, a game which they had a chance to win, a game where they outplayed Clemson for the majority of the game. That was the game right after Kelly Bryant quit. Trevor Lawrence got hurt in the first half of that game. They brought in a quarterback that no one's ever heard of and almost got beat. So that was an emotional game for Syracuse. They then have to go right back on the road the following week to Pitt, and they lose a close one in overtime. Take that Pitt game away. No shame in losing to Clemson and Notre Dame. Syracuse, a really good team at 9-3. I like them in this spot here. Like I said, West Virginia without Will Grier, not going to be nearly the same team. Give me the orange man. Give me the fruit, though. Yeah, you can lay the 3. Speaking of Iowa State, though, they play Washington State today in the Alamo Bowl. Remember the Alamo? Yeah, barely. Texas has about as much chance of beating Georgia, right, as Davy Crockett did of surviving the Battle of the Alamo, which was 0. Texas not winning that game. Come on. Iowa State versus Washington State. Washington State, 2.5-point favorite, Alamo Bowl. Iowa State 8-4. Washington State, of course, 10-2. Lost the game early in the season to Southern Cal. You look back now, scratch your head, how the hell did that happen? Southern Cal, terrible. Didn't even qualify for a bowl this year. Mike Leach still looking for Bigfoot there at Washington State, 10-2. And then, of course, lost their rivalry game, the Apple Cup, whatever the hell they call it, against Washington. So that was their 2 losses. You look at Iowa State, lost to Texas, TCU, Oklahoma, and Iowa. TCU, not a good team. Iowa, not a good team. Texas and Oklahoma, Oklahoma, better than average. Texas, people forgot Texas had a team. Just be real. Come on. They really did. But anyway, 8-4. I'm going to take Washington State here. To me, Washington State is clearly the better team. I like Mike Leach, give coaching advantage there. Now Matt Campbell at Iowa State is a good coach. Hot name, too. I don't think he'll be at Iowa State very long. I think a bigger name program will snatch him up sooner rather than later. But I'm going to go with the weirdo here, Mike Leach. Give me the Bigfoots and lay the 2.5. All right, there you have it. That's the games coming up for today. Like I said, some good ones. Ranked teams, all Power 5 teams. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be watching it. And then, of course, all weekend through New Year's Day. Now we're really getting ready to pick up now with some of these bigger games. I'm going to try to do 2 videos today. This one, try to do a second one later on this afternoon. I got some things I got to do this afternoon. My kids are out of school this week, so some things going on there. I don't want to bore you with the details on that. If you watched the live stream last night, you probably know what it is. But in any case, who did I go with here? I went with Purdue over Auburn, right? Yeah, pretty sure I did. Went with Syracuse over West Virginia, right? Yep, pretty sure I did. And went with Washington State over Iowa State. What does that mean? That means all 3 of those teams will most likely lose, as I went 0 for 3 in my picks yesterday. Nevertheless, I'm sticking with those picks today. My luck has to turn around at some point, right? I don't know. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you later on. Have a great morning.